Well, this reminds me of the novels of Franz Kafka, well, in particular the trial, in which this guy is arrested and charged with something, but he never really knows what. And just, if they can do that to anybody, they can do it to any of us.
My husband's story has been since his arrival in Canada. His story was the same in his first and in his second testimony. In the meantime, secret evidence, failed lie detector tests, ceases being untruthful, destruction of all original material, right in our home to find so-called evidence before our hearing. How can this case still stand in court of law?
A federal court judge ruled today that Mohamed Harkat is indeed a terrorist and a threat to Canada's national security.
Yesterday, a judge upheld a national security certificate against him.
A security certificate, which is a legal device by which the Canadian government can detain and or deport non-citizens that are deemed a threat to national security. However, what makes them controversial is that they allow for indefinite detention with no charges and secret evidence.
I find that Mr. Harkat has engaged in terrorism, that he's a danger to the security of Canada, and that he's a member of the Bin Laden network.
We will never, ever accept this judgment. We ask for the truth, and this is not the truth.
Never be a part of Bin Laden network in my life.
Mohamed Harkat has been declaring his innocence since 8 years ago today when he was arrested by CSIS on allegations of terrorism. And the problem, of course, for his defenders, as they say, everything about this process is secret.
Mr. Harkat's been in this country for 15 years. He's never committed a crime. He's never alleged to have committed a crime in this country. He testified as to the truth. And for an innocent person, if a person is innocent and there's allegations made and the evidence isn't produced to you, all you can do is deny. You're not able to say, you know what, you can say, I didn't say that. But without a tape to be played to you, for people to hear if it's your voice, to challenge the translation, you're left in it. Mr. Harkat's position has been unwavering for all these years.
The Supreme Court of Canada struck down the Immigration Refugee Protection Act originally because we were told absolutely nothing. A new system was put in place, theoretically, to give us a better look at the evidence underlying the allegations. And special advocates were put in place to protect the interests of the named person. We still come through this case not knowing what many of the allegations were based on.
We know in a democracy, we know that truth is brought out when matters are challenged. And challenge can only be done when the veil of secrecy is lifted and it can be addressed head on.
On multiple occasions in the judgment, he says, on the public record, the evidence was not conclusive, but when compounded by the secret record, it was.
There is evidence informant given for the government. And even special advocate themselves, they didn't question the informant to the reliability of this person, it's true or not.
We had one of the best legal teams in the country and the best experts in the world. Yet it was not enough. The secret evidence took over our lives.
And all the allegations against him have been done through a secret process. His lawyer said it's almost impossible to defend him. He says there's no real court, there's no witnesses, there's no method of cross-examination.
The case relies on secret evidence from CSIS. Harkat's court-appointed special advocates did see it, but could not reveal it.
Yes, was it shown to the special advocates? It was. How much challenge do the special advocates get? We don't know. Are the special advocates allowed to tell us whether they're satisfied? No, they're not. Are we allowed to speak to them? No, we're not.
Mr. Noel also claims that the special advocates had complete access to everything, and yet we know that a year ago, this same judge refused the special advocates access to a number of the secret informants, even though this would be done in secret. The special advocates are under a pain of 14 years in prison if they violate that secrecy, and yet he would not allow them access.
It's the credibility of the informant was never tested in secret proceedings, and the most sacred proceedings in camera, and it's my husband's word versus secret evidence. This has no place in the Canadian democracy. That's why this process has to be abolished completely. If any Canadian was in my husband's shoes and was detained without charge or access to the evidence for national security reasons, more Canadians would be yelling foul. Why is this acceptable for him?
Justice Noel says Harkat ran a house for Islamic extremists in Pakistan.
We find that he's alleged to have associated with an Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden network person. Well, in the federal court ruling a year ago, Mr. Khattab was ruled by the federal court not to be a terrorist. Today is Mr. Khattab's ruled to be a terrorist.
Spent time in Afghanistan.
There's an allegation that he went to Afghanistan. The judge finds the fact that he went to Afghanistan. We still don't know when, where, who says what. It's sitting out there blindly.
Came to Canada in 1995 on a false Saudi passport as a sleeper agent.
Never in mind I'd be a part or involved in terrorism, or I will be in the future, and never, ever.
My husband will never admit to things he did not do, or admit knowing people he does not know.
Mr. Noel says, well, he knows what all the allegations are, but if you have 100 allegations against you made public, but you don't know what the basis for them is, how can you defend yourself?
How many more of us will have to hold press conferences and say, we are innocent of all these allegations? How many more cases? How many more of us will you target?
It cannot be forgotten that it's in the post-9/11 era when he's arrested on this security certificate and the environment that occurred then. There didn't appear to be a risk to Canada between 1995 and 2002, despite the fact that he was interviewed many times.
We may have lost some faith in the justice system. We hope to appeal it. But one thing we haven't lost is faith in Canadians. There's a lot of people out there that support us and that believe in due process. That's what we need to. That's what we're living on right now, is the support of Canadians, which is everywhere across the country and across the world.
Supporters are gathered this hour in front of the Human Rights Monument in front of Ottawa City Hall.
The 8th anniversary, 8 years of oppression, of arbitrary detention, of shameful, disgusting treatment.
Their fight is our fight. Their fight is our fight for a better society, when every one of us can live free. They can say and have a good life. And that's what Sophie and Mohamed want. They want to have a good life, a free life, and have a family.
My hope is for a society in which our courts are not complicit in racism and torture. My hope is for a society in which we don't have these kind of racist laws. My hope is for a society in which all of us take inspiration and courage and hope from the steadfast struggle that Sophie and Mohamed have waged, and stand up together.
Solidarity! Let's then put the evidence out on public. We have criminal trials. Let's test it through criminal courts. Let's do it that way, just like they do under the terrorist legislation.
Fundamentally, whether it be criminal law or immigration law, at the end of the day, you need to be able to answer your accusers. You need to be able to defend yourself, and if at the end of the day it's unfair, it's unfair. And we're still left with a situation that is unfair because we could not effectively defend him.
I'm here today to ask you to sign the statement against security certificates.
J'ai signé la pétition, la déclaration contre les certificats de sécurité.
I signed the statement against security certificates.
I signed the statement to stop secret trials and to stop security certificates in Canada.
Je pense que tout le monde devrait signer cette pétition, car à travers Mohamed Harkat, ce qui est visé, ce sont les droits de tous les Canadiens. Et je pense sincèrement que sans défendre les droits de tous, notre sécurité passe par la défense des droits de tous.
Both personally and as a community, we've always supported the abolition of the security certificates.
Secret trials are unconstitutional and undemocratic.
It's about due process for human beings. It's about human rights, and everybody should sign the statement against security certificates because that's what it's calling for. It's calling for fairness for all.
I think every Canadian should sign the statement and try to stand up for human rights.
Please help us save a life. Please make a difference. And sign the statements to stop secret trials in Canada.
And I personally signed the statement because I know Mohamed Harkat, and he's no more a terrorist than I am.